All right, guys. So obviously, lately there's been a whole discussion about, well, four players in particular for England: Jack Grealish, Mason Mount, Phil Foden, and James Maddison. And the discussion is about, do all of them go to the Euros, and if so, or even if not, which of them play? Because I mean, at least one of them's got to be starting for England, as haven't they? Else we're gonna have no chance. Um, and for me, I think with James Maddison, the debate is so. I'll go through the four players one by one. So with James Maddison, the debate is whether you take him or not, because I can't see James Maddison starting the first game of the Euros for England. He may play like the third group game if we're already through, or he may come as a replacement if there is an injury, so on, so on. Um, I personally see with England, I think Gareth Southgate has got to pick his formation, pick his plan. If he's gonna stick to the same plan that got him to the semi-final in the World Cup, then yeah, do that. Fair enough. But don't do what Roy Hodgson and Fabio Capello both did for England, and just not even come in with a plan. Just like people go on about, oh, England, they've got no plan B. They didn't have a bloody plan A at 2010, 12, 14 and 16. They didn't have a plan A in any of those tournaments. What we need is, we like in 2018, we need to just set out a formation, set out how we're going to play. So I think the best way to pick your squad is to get all of that, like pick your formation, and then pick two players for every position. So that leaves you with 22, and then obviously you pick a third goalkeeper just in case. Like you always do. You always take three keepers. So I think let's just assume Gareth Southgate's going to go with his free. Well, recently he's been playing a 3-4-3 as opposed to his 3-5-2 or 5-3-2 that he played at the World Cup. So if he goes 3-4-3, that leaves two attacking positions off Harry Kane. So Harry Kane's going to be starting, we know that much. And in the midfield, I can't see a way that any of these attacking midfielders get into the two midfield positions. I think the two midfield positions have got to be Declan Rice and Jordan Henderson. And so those two attacking positions behind the striker. Now, out of the four, I can't see him taking all four, because Marcus Rashford, Raheem Sterling, they're going to be in with a shout. So, and they both have to go, Raheem Sterling and Marcus Rashford. We know that much. So if those two are going, that leaves, for me, I think leaves two, possibly three positions available. So for me, James Maddison. It's tough though, because James Maddison does have traits that the other three don't have. Like like the other three like to stick on the left hand side of the pitch. Grealish, left hand side. Mount, usually primarily the left hand side. Same with Foden. But with James Maddison, he plays in the centre, but he likes to come out either side. So I think that is something different. Mason Mount and Jack Grealish, for me, have to go. Phil Foden, I can't see a world in which he doesn't go, is my problem. So, so for me, it's between do you take Phil Foden or James Maddison? And Phil Foden, you could argue, probably is the more what's the word? Versatile. That's the word, versatile, out of the two. Simply because he plays in a variety of positions for Man City. He can play one of the three in central midfield. So, but that doesn't really apply with the two. But he can play in the attacking role or that position if we need to change formation. Whereas James Maddison is a number 10. We've seen that from the past 3 years at Leicester. I keep scrambling my words. I keep scrambling my words up today. So I personally think Phil Foden or James Maddison. I think you probably take Phil Foden. So I think James Maddison probably doesn't get in the squad for the Euros. But this is the problem for England. We've got, like at the last World Cup, these positions, we had nobody, and that was the downfall. We had, okay, you could argue Jesse Lingard, but Jesse Lingard didn't play in that role. It was more, we didn't really have a player that played that role, and that was sort of our downfall. I mean, Dele Alli's out of the conversation. Jesse Lingard, I can't see him being picked simply because I know he's been decent recently, but over the past 2 years, he's basically just been sat on the bench for Man United. And like, yeah, he has had a tough couple of years, to be fair. And so I don't think James Maddison goes, because Mason Mount is, for his age and for the position he plays, is actually a really disciplined player, and he doesn't give the defenders on the opposing team a minute to breathe. He's constantly pressurising them. And Jack Grealish, brilliant on the ball, great at dribbling, and that's his best asset, bringing the ball forward. He can strike a ball. And Phil Foden, just like Pep Guardiola's perfect player, isn't he? So he keeps the ball well, passes and moves, and gets in the right positions to score goals. And James Maddison, we're not playing with a number 10, so I can't see him being picked. So that's my thoughts on the whole thing at the moment about which attacking midfielders needs to be taken to the Euros by Gareth Southgate. And Southgate has made it clear that Mason Mount and Jack Grealish and Phil Foden are probably going to be the ones to go, and James Maddison isn't. So I'm going to have to agree with Gareth Southgate on this one. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.